Hi, I'm Tiffany Patland, host of the Tiffany Talks Health and Wellness podcast, where I discuss tools, tips, and techniques to heal your mind, body, and soul. I am on a godly mission to heal the world. Our special guest today is Lisa Diaz. Lisa is in the process of being a certified breakthrough coach and is the author of the book From Doubting to Believing. Lisa has come a long way breaking old patterns and beliefs. She came to a point into her life where she had to learn how to love herself and heal in order to be able to help others. Despite how long it took, she did not give up because in her heart, she wanted to help others do the same. So let's bring on Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, how's it going?
Tell me, how you doing today?
Great, doing great. Enjoying the weather here in Florida. Nice.
Oh, well, lucky you, because it's been raining over here and I've been having to look at like images and pictures of sunniness and all that stuff to get me through. Because
Oh,
I need to go visit you.
yeah, it's nice over here.
I haven't been over there. My older brother actually lives over there. I want to say he's in Miami. I'm not sure.
Okay, so that's like an hour away that you could do
Oh,
that.
see,
Totally
we
do
gotta
it.
we gotta make it happen.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm so excited to talk to you. For those that don't know, I met Lisa in person this past, what was it, June?
June, yes.
June. But I'll wait. I'll save that story because it's such a beautiful story. I'll save it
Yeah.
for the end.
Okay.
But please tell us your backstory of how it is that you came to write this book.
Okay, there's a lot, but definitely it's exciting. Wow. So to think back, as growing up and now understanding as an adult that growing up, I learned patterns and beliefs, right, that were put on to me. And understanding now that my mother and father did the best that they could, right? Because wow, like I can think back and I say, oh my goodness, I can understand now why I had so much fear. I didn't have as much confidence in myself. And growing up, it was hard to like understand who I was from everything that I've gone through. And learning that now as an adult and have gone through so much, right? To be able to heal little by little, healing and understanding who I am, right? Now it's like, wow, there's so much to share out there for others that need the same. So I can't even say that I decided. I've always wanted, it's so funny because like throughout the years, I've like had an application and I've start writing and I'd say, oh, okay, I'm gonna write. And it just drifted off or years later then more writing drifted off. But it never came to me like you're going to like Lisa had a plan that she was gonna write this book for this date. It was not planned that way. But meeting you all in the community, everything just flowed how it was planned.
God knew what he was
Yeah,
doing, didn't he?
sure did. Yeah, like he had a plan that was bigger than my plan because my plan was like insy bincy.
I feel you. I feel that. So what religion were you grown into religion, like born into religion? And if so, what was that and how was it for you?
Okay, yes, I grew up in Pentecostal church,
Oh,
and
never heard of that.
no, and Pentecostal church where yes, they still believe in Jesus, they believe in God, but I understand now as an adult there was a lot of man-made rules.
Mm.
So with the man-made rules now that I understand, it's like wow. I to put it in a nice way, I feel robbed of who I feel robbed. I felt robbed of growing up as a child to have so much fear. Yes, fear God, but to the point where we had church like 7 days a week. It was strict. You go for the 7 days. You couldn't wear pants. You couldn't wear makeup. You couldn't wear
Wow.
earrings, so because you were, living for God. So growing up as a child, I remember like 15 years old, I'm like, okay, I can't do this skirt thing anymore. I'm gonna go sneak me a pair of pants.
Oh.
I did put that in my book too, but and now that I have children, teaching them that yes, God is number one. God loves them. Yes, Jesus died for our sins. He loves them too, and just letting them grow up to who they're meant to be with no man-made rules. I want them to feel loved by God freely. Just everything that I had to learn as an adult, I want them to learn that as a children, but in a peaceful way,
Oh,
not a
yes.
fearful way.
Yes. I grew up Catholic, and I just remember not understanding anything. Why do I have to memorize that prayer? What does a lamb have to do with anything? No joke, like, I did not understand, but yet my brother and I would get in trouble because we would be messing around because we didn't wanna sit there and listen. We didn't know why we were there. We just didn't comprehend. I don't
Mhm.
know about you, but my parents didn't explain things to me. Did they explain things to you?
I really not she didn't. I mean, she didn't explain it, but it was more I don't as a child, and then thinking back when I was in the church, I would stick to like the adults. So I was always listening and watching. I've always listened and watched, listened and watched. But I think at a point in my life then it was even church was like a escape out the house.
Oh.
Because we lived in a strict environment, and I think, like, we couldn't be outside, like, after dark, go to our friend's house a lot, like, even growing up, like, they would know, "Oh, your mom doesn't let you out, you're not allowed to go," so
Mm.
that way, yeah.
Wow. I remember my mother getting really stressed before church, screaming and yelling because she was so crazy about being late for church. That didn't really make it fun for us. We were like, you know, like, and I go to church now, and I go to a church. It's called Awaken Church here in Salt Lake City. And, our book coach, Christine Gale, is the one that introduced us to that church. So I'm so grateful for her for that. But, when I bring my kids to church, I've learned not to force them to stand up, not to force them to engage. If they have questions, explain things to them, help them understand. And I just try to think about the way it was for me and what I've learned a lot of what not to do, right? Would you say the same?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
because it's challenging. It's challenging. Like how do you do that, But um was there any time like, I want you to talk about how you were doubting. Where did that come from in your story?
I think doubting came from my experiences, just in life. Like I've doubted so much where when you know how you have that feeling like you've tried everything and it's like,
Mhm.
all right, there's nothing good gonna come out of this. Like I'm just like
Yeah.
not gonna even try anymore. Like it's just I'm not gonna do it. So I doubted in that area. I doubted like, does God really have a plan for me? Does he really have, that plan that was promised over my life? Like, am I going to see that one day? And it's like, I've seen myself, like this, but I've never seen myself like this, until it actually starts unfolding. You're like, oh, wow. Oh, okay. All right, now I understand. Patience is key. So I was like, okay, now I got to be patient. Now I have to let everything is temporary. There's still a lot that I need to learn. There's still areas in my life that I need to heal. And then it started, oh, okay, now, and then kicked me into believing. So
Was there a specific event or anything that happened where you were like where it clicked for you and you were like, "Okay, I have to be patient. I get it now."
I think like I would say within the last 3 years, I'm working on myself. Well, I've been working on probably like obviously all my life, right? Because that's how we get here. But the last few years of me working on myself, I really seen that I needed it, you know. I didn't know that, but working on myself real made me realize, wow, okay, you do need to be patient, you do need to heal, and you do need to love yourself. And why I say that, um, I want to say this respectfully, but I want to say this with a lot of love. A lot of times when we do, go to church And a lot of us go to church at a point in our life when we're hurt.
Mm.
And from me, from my experience, when I started going to church, which I've only have after the age of 15, I had my two personal experiences going to church, which is only two. So I say, now that I've gone through the process of loving myself, when you go to church, right, and you want to have, and that this is where my throat got dry. This is where my two experiences have come. And I say, when I got there in my first church experience, I went real broken. I went like really depressed. I had postpartum depression when I had my daughter because I only wanted one child.
Oh.
I only wanted one kid. So I'm like, okay, well, my experience there, and maybe now as an adult, I can say, I even question myself, what those experiences done to me, or did I learn from them? But then I say, and I ask myself and I ask God, was I just a part of me that wasn't healed? That I feel the experiences were not good.
Hmm.
So I say, okay, but now and then that's my answer. The answer is yes, because you can be in any location, right? Wherever you are. But if you're healed, you know how to deal with it. If you're not, you run away from it. So,
Mm.
yes, Lisa ran away. Lisa ran away. And now I'm so grateful because I see the difference and I understand the difference. And now I know how to deal with it, and I know how to deal with situations that do get tough, that do, they may hurt, but I can deal with it a lot better than before. I would just run like that's it.
Yes, I agree with that. That's the beauty of healing is that you learn what to do, how to process your emotions in a healthy way, how to think properly, how to not, let it everything defeat you. And something that I want to know if you feel the same way with me, since coming into my newfound faith, I know now to put everything to God, that it's all about God. It's like if something is not working, I should not force it to work because it's not my will. It's always God's will. And I was the one that was back in the day, cursing God, saying, I hate God. There's no such thing as a God. How can there be? Look at my crappy life. Like, no, And finally, little by little, he was prompting me. And, those who have read my book, my story, there's little bits and pieces in there. He was always there. God was always there. He never left me, and I never knew that. I learned that when I was writing my book and I started crying. So I was like, "Oh my god, he was always there." And I was
Yeah.
like, "I'm so sorry. Please forgive me." And that's the beauty of it, that God does forgive us.
Hmm.
Even though we're confused, we're hurting, we don't understand, we have to be quiet and listen because that's how he speaks to us. And it's not words, right? I mean, some people say that they hear words. Some people, like Christine, I know she says that she'll just sit there quietly and she'll get prompted to write something out. And with me, I think I get thoughts. How is that for you? How do you feel like you get that communication?
I get that. Yeah, it's more like I can't again. I'm gonna try to explain it. I get
Yeah.
that feeling. I don't know. I get that. It's like it just comes. It just flows. I don't know. It just comes and you just get that feeling. You just feel it. You just know. And then you know it's God because it's like a feeling where you just know. I
I
don't know
think
how to explain it, but yes, it does come. Things that I can like that are put into my spirit, I wanna say, that I can't explain that, and it's like, now I'm thinking about my stepdaughter, she's like, "Lisa, I've never met someone like you where you could spend time with someone and and it's like, wow, okay, so that's another area that God let me see of what he's put into me, his spirit and his guidance through healing and love and peace." And it's a beautiful thing, It's a beautiful thing to just let him do his job.
Oh, I
It's a
love how you said that. It's such a beautiful thing to let God do his job. Oh my gosh, you gotta create a quote. No joke. That is a quote by Lisa Diaz. That is awesome. That hit me. And when you first started talking, about that, beforehand, I felt goosebumps all over. And I noticed, like, now when I go to church, I used to be afraid to get involved. I used to be afraid to sing. When I started going to church by myself in California, they had like the same thing, a big stage and music, and I was terrified to go in there. So we found like a little grassy hill off to the side, and we would just sit there because they had speakers that you could hear the message. And then little by little, we worked our way up to this place where it was outside. There was tables. People would have breakfast and coffee and tea, and they would have the speakers there. And I felt safe there. But I never went inside till we went, to California. That was my first time. And even then, and now as I go to church, I notice that I'm more open because I believe, I feel it now. And when I sing those songs, I start crying. And I didn't know what that was. So I mentioned it to Chip Ball, who's Quay Ball's husband.
Yes.
And we'll talk about him in a minute. Um, he, um, he told me that the same thing happens to him. He'll be involved singing and he'll get choked up. And he says, I don't know what that is either. And Quay was right there listening. And she said, oh, when that happens, I just say hi because that's God. And I was like, oh my gosh, like
Yes.
God's visiting you when you invite the Holy Spirit in. He's in you and you can feel him. It's like he's activated. Would
Yeah.
you feel the same way?
Yes.
It's so
Yeah,
beautiful. I
and it's
love it.
worshiping, and that's one thing that I mean, no matter what, that will always be with me. I love to worship. I love to listen to worship music. I do. I do that in my secret place. I've always done it, no matter what I go through, whether I'm in my car, at home, wherever I'm at, I always do that. And I think that's like my number one thing that has always kept me connected, even through like the pain, the trauma, like
Mhm.
and like you said, there were times that you were mad at God. With my experience, I can say, I don't get mad at God. I just say, when is this going to be over with? Like, or when am I going to get through this? And I thank you because a lot through my process I've learned. And that's because how I grew up. So I think it's normal for me to already feel to thank God through everything that I've gone through. I can't say I haven't blamed him to be upset at him. I just didn't understand the process of where he was taking and what he was doing with me. But I still held on patient and I would still like, praise and worship, which till today we know we still do in our house. We still listen to, our worship music and things like that. And when I'm driving on the road, I do that too. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm grateful because I finally evolved to be in that place now, like what you were saying. Now I know that when things are not working out the right way, it's to have that faith and to have that trust that God is doing something. Be patient, like you said, have trust and faith in God. If you have faith, then you have faith.
Yeah, you have faith in God and he puts I've learned that through my process too. If we put our faith only in God, we will understand everything a lot easier when people come into our life,
Mm,
whether it's permanent or temporary. Because
mm,
being on the outside, going through everything that I've gone through, and the great people, good people, people that taught me lessons, whether it was good or bad, everybody that's come into my life had played a part in teaching me something, whether it was hurting me or learning it as a lesson. But who does that? Who puts those people in our life? God, right? They're going to come across. He's going to use the good and the bad. And that's where
yes.
sometimes it's hard to accept. And I think we look at it like God's only going to allow great things.
Mm,
Everything's going to be so perfect because it's God. But, these little traumas that we have or experiences that we have in our life, why did he allow that? Because if we didn't go through that, it couldn't break us, mold us,
yes.
crying, like, God, when is this gonna be over with? Like, I don't want to go through this pain anymore. Like, when is this gonna like these people are looking at me and they don't know, they have no clue what I've gone through, but I have to keep my faith and keep on going. And that's what I did. I kept my faith and I kept on going. When it was hard, I wanted to give up. I still believed, and I was just like, okay, when is this gonna end? And I'm now in this community and I can still say that was God. Like he put the people in my life for me to be where I'm at today. And I'm just grateful.
There's so much truth in that. You're right. And some people because I have a really dark past myself, and I have wrapped that in love and forgiveness and understanding for pretty much everything you just said. God knew what my life was going to entail, and he gave me the forgiving heart that I have. He gave me all the skills that I needed to get through all that. And when I wasn't able to protect myself, he was there. He was doing it all. He knew. He knew I was going to be mad at him. He knew everything. He just knew. And not everything didn't finally come full circle until I made that decision as an adult to give
Mhm.
my life to Jesus Christ. And I would love for you to share that part, the story.
Yes, I would love to share that. Like, wow, okay, so we went to to the event, and I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna go to this event and we're gonna actually, talk about our books,
Yeah, the Unleash Your Rising breakthrough
I
event for our author
understand.
community.
Yes, I'm like, okay, all right, we're gonna learn these things. And I'm like, wow, it was a surprise, a grateful surprise. Like, I've learned so much about each and every one of us. I've learned about myself. And then, after this event, it's like, who wants to go to church? I'm like, really? Okay, I have a decision now. Do I really want to go? And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. What I have to lose, I'm going to go. And I did. And it was just like, I was crying, brought to tears and the songs and the worship and being with my sisters, and it was just a great experience, right? A great experience. And then after the service, where they went, prayed for us, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have a simple prayer where it was definitely deeper than what
I
I
know, I was there right next to
yeah,
you.
yeah, it was like deeper than
Ooh,
I expected. And it's like, now then you really want to talk? Does God really get to work, when we let him do his job? So not only that, breaking my fears, through that, and then having that opportunity to get baptized. I was like, why not? Like, why not? What do I have to lose? I don't have anything to lose. I can have my fresh start. I'm already, I'm God's child. Why not just start as a fresh start? There's nothing wrong with that. And I feel brand new. I feel this is who I'm meant to be.
oh, I love that so much. And Chip, Ball was actually the one who, he was my partner during that event, and he had I forget which project we were doing, but we were doing something, and I don't even remember how it came up, to be honest. And he just started asking me, and I was like, oh, this guy's, a pro. This is what he does. And I didn't know I was the very first one that
Oh,
he had helped to say, to convert, to give my life to Jesus Christ. I didn't know that. I didn't realize it, but I was actually an answered prayer for him. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then when you wanted to do it, and then Christine did it, and I was just like, oh my
I
God, this is so
know. And that,
beautiful.
yes. And this is what I say, right? That's something that I will never forget.
Mm.
I'm never gonna forget that, and I'm so
Oh, you're
grateful
making me cry.
for her. Yeah, because I say, "Wow, like, this is not something that was planned."
Mm-mm. Nope.
When God does his job, like, it was, like, not something like, "Okay, well, we are going to go to this event, we're gonna go to church, we're gonna get
Yep.
baptized, are you gonna sign this?" Nothing like that, right? So when we're coming out of church, it's like, "Okay, the bus is going that way, she's gonna get baptized." Okay, and then Christine, what best experience can we have when we have our coach, our leader,
Mm,
a woman of God that like is there to get baptized near us, as a one, an experience like that I can never forget. And I'm so grateful and I thank God because he did everything that I needed and he's still doing everything that he needs to do in our lives, right? I'm
yes.
grateful, like, I am really grateful. I'm really grateful. I just think back and I say, "How did I get here?" But we can't ask those questions, those why questions, like, "How did you get here?" Like, "How is this all happening?" But I'm just gonna, like we said, we're gonna let God do his job.
Yes. Just let God do his job. Just let go and
Yeah.
surrender.
Oh, yeah, it's just like, I'm gonna just let him do his job.
I
I
am
can't
so
control it.
excited.
Yes.
I'm so excited to read your book. I really am. Do you have a launch date for your book yet?
I have, for the end of November, working on that, so it's, like, right now in layout. I'm excited, like, I'm super excited, and I really can't wait. I really put a lot of what God put in my spirit, my process, what I've gone through. I have in there is going to be so much information to be able to help others really make that decisions for change. Because a lot of us, and I was talking to someone today, a lot of times we don't realize that we do have to let God do his job. We don't realize that. And sometimes we only realize it when we hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And that was my experience, you know. Can't control it, Lisa, you're gonna hit rock bottom. Uh-oh. So, and that's where we really have to just let go and understand our relationship with God is between God and us. You know, like I before my when my mother was in the hospital, this is what I said to her. I said, Mommy, when you plant a seed in the ground and it's growing, and it's coming out of the ground, little green sprouts. Do you already know what it is? No. Okay. So then why would we think that people already know who God called us to be and who we are?
Wow.
She said, Lisa, thank you for telling me that. She's like, I never looked at it that way. And I said, Mommy, no matter what you go through, God loves you just how you are. And He knows why you're here. He's the one
Mm.
that made you. And she was like, "I never looked at it that way." And that's because I used that as an example because before I left, I had planted a papaya tree. I use that as an example because it's like you see it growing. A lot of people are going to see that plant growing, but they don't know what it is until they see what's hanging off that tree. So be patient. We have to let God do his work.
That was beautiful. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Lisa. As we come to the end of our show, do you have a special quote or a statement or a mantra, anything that you go by that helps you throughout the day to share with our audience?
I want to say just believe, have faith, let go, let God, surrender everything. It is possible. And we can do it through loving ourselves first and allowing Him to guide us every day.
Oh my gosh, I love that so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining the show and sharing your wisdom. And you guys check out Lisa, follow her so you can be informed when her book launch is coming out. You want to get that book for anybody that is struggling, that is questioning God and religion, because there is a difference between religion and having a relationship with God. There is a difference. And I'm so excited to get my hands on your book. So I will be posting about her book when it comes out. So, but make sure you follow her. Her information is on the, will be in the threads. And yeah, thank you so much. And we will be in touch, girlfriend.
Thank you for having me. Have a good one.
Bye. Wow, thank you everybody for watching. This was amazing. In case you couldn't tell, it was really important to me and it touched my heart because I was with her when we both got baptized and it was such a beautiful special moment. Yeah, so that this was a great one. This is dear to my heart. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Please feel free to, share with your loved ones, anybody that, may be questioning having a relationship with God or that might be confused. Lisa's also available. You can reach out to her. You can email her. Whatever you feel you called to do, please do that. Invite your friends and family to like the Tiffani Talks Facebook page, or you can also subscribe to YouTube or listen on all major podcast platforms. And yeah, I can't say anything better than what Lisa said, except for just take time to be quiet and alone to listen to what God, your higher power, whatever you want to call it, what He is trying to say to you, because He is there. He is there for you. Your Creator is there, and your Creator wants to communicate with you. Okay, that's it. I'm Tiffani Patlin signing off until the next episode. Bye, everybody.